Cool Figure TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Yao Ming of Revolution, Detroit rap star. Going to prison for life, wanting to be Durkio. Looks like it. Before we get into that, be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button. You in the House of Revolution. Like, share, subscribe, support the platform. Y'all. Well, this little blackface Ku Klux Klan member T Grizzly, it's over for him. You know, what's done in the dark, come to the light. You reap what you sow. He might don't try to leave the country, neither, boy. They already on that. Salute, family.
The rumors that T Grizzly paid for his aunt/manager to be killed started off as a simple conspiracy. It's now escalated to the point where the murder suspect defense is in court saying that T Grizzly paid for the hit. Let's do a quick recap just to make sure everybody is caught up on this situation. And if you're not caught up and didn't watch the other two videos, you could go to the T Grizzly playlist to get caught up. But T Grizzly auntie Jobina Brown was shot and killed in 2019.
Sad to have to report this, but Jobina J.B. Brown, the manager and aunt of T Grizzly, was shot and killed in Detroit on Tuesday night, August 20th. Comments about her death began surfacing Wednesday, August 21st on social media before her passing was confirmed by TMZ. According to law enforcement sources, a shooter opened fire on Grizzly's Cadillac Escalade while the vehicle was traveling around Detroit. The gunman allegedly approached on foot and shot Brown, who was sitting in the back seat in her left side. Grizzly was reportedly riding in the passenger seat and got out of the vehicle as the shooter approached. The driver said the attacker fired 3 or 4 shots and noted that Brown screamed before the gunfire began. Brown was rushed to a local hospital but died from her wounds. She was 41 years old. Police don't know if Grizzly was the intended target of the attack. He and the driver were unharmed.
Let's continue the brief recap before we get into the new details, because it's crazy. It left me stunned. So if you watched my last video, you know that T Grizzly did an interview. During this interview, T Grizzly detailed exactly what took place moments before the shootout. T Grizzly and Jobina was riding around in their Chrysler 300 with a driver. They had to make a stop before getting to their destination. They stopped at T Grizzly's family house from his daddy's side. When they stopped there, T Grizzly got out from the back driver's side. Jobina was sitting in the back passenger side. When T Grizzly got out and walked to the porch, gunmen came, opened up the back passenger side, shot into the vehicle, and killed Jobina. T Grizzly says the shooters were looking for him, and that's why they opened up the back passenger side, because they thought that's where he was sitting.
Still breathing and everything. She called me.
She called you?
While she was shot, she called me.
What'd she say?
I was trying to talk to her. I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh.
She couldn't really form no words. You know what I'm saying? But, like, coming for me because they opened my door.
Okay.
And was shooting in the car. They hit her 8 times, though.
And you have no idea where this came from?
No, I ain't got no idea where it came from, but it didn't even matter where it came from. I felt like everybody was a suspect. I feel like everybody was a suspect.
T Grizzly was correct. Everybody.
I feel like everybody was a suspect, and then you hang with these niggas, and then this little nigga 600 Wu-Tang go to jail, but you still hanging with them niggas. I thought everybody was a suspect, except the niggas who get caught with the murder weapon and the car. The murder vehicle, they not a suspect. This nigga a clown, bro.
And exactly
everybody
what
around
that
us some
means.
clowns.
But let's continue the brief recap. Wu Thing, aka Wu 600, was arrested for the murder of T Grizzly's aunt. Now, Wu Thing, aka Wu 600, is from 600. He's T Grizzly's associate, and he's Buka 600 associate, who was the groomsman in T Grizzly's wedding. After Wu 600 was arrested for the murder of T Grizzly's aunt, that T Grizzly believed was targeted for him, T Grizzly continued to hang out with 600 members like Buka 600. Wu Thing was initially arrested for the murder because he was pulled over in Chicago while sitting in an alleyway in a stolen vehicle, as well as being in possession of a firearm. The stolen vehicle that he was sitting in the alleyway was actually the getaway vehicle used in the murder of T Grizzly's aunt. And the firearm, after ballistics was done, was the same firearm used in the murder of T Grizzly's auntie. And the cell phone towers confirmed that Wu Thing was actually at the location for 2 hours before T Grizzly and his aunt got there. Why was you hiding out at that location with the murder vehicle and the murder weapon? Obviously, you are involved in the murder. But it also opened up more room for suspicion for T Grizzly. If this was a stop that was out the blue, it was a stop that came up while y'all was in the vehicle and you just made an emergency stop somewhere to grab something, then how did the shooters know to be at that location for 2 hours? It didn't make sense whatsoever. And if they were at that location for 2 hours and they seen you get out, then why would they open up the vehicle and kill your aunt?
Nigga is a nice young man who hung around them killers and told them killers the problem he had with his auntie and let them little demons talk him in. We'll do it, man. That ain't nothing. And he fell for that motherfucking shit. And I'm pretty sure these niggas been extorting his bitch ass every motherfucker since.
If they were looking for you, it made zero sense whatsoever. And it didn't make sense to the police either. The police chief wasn't buying T Grizzly's story either. My sources told me, and when I say sources, understand this when I tell you this. I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm not talking about associates. I'm talking, everything I tell you, they've been in the room when it happened. I'm not talking about, hey, yo, I heard this. Hey, yo, Pookie told me. No, I'm talking about when I tell you something in this video, understand. The person I heard it from was in the room when it happened.
This nigga got really excited because when people hit him up that's involved in this shit. When I seen this nigga talking, I said, oh, yeah, you know the police. You got to talk to the police player, Falco, what you don't mind doing. They got to talk to you. You talk to people who was in the room when the killers was talking. You're part of the case now. But he didn't mind making himself part of the motherfucking case. But that's exactly what he is. He got first-hand information about what the killers is dressing. And the killers is talking in rooms and people, and that's how this shit work though. Niggas is calling Puerto Flaco and telling him shit, and that's the truth. All for a cash out.
The person that told me is connected directly to the situation. I was told the police chief
like that, they need that
looked
phone
T
number
Grizzly
too.
in his eyes and told him, I know you involved somehow. I'm going to get down to the bottom of this. The police chief thought this. The police chief thought that T Grizzly was involved somehow. They just couldn't prove it. They just couldn't connect the dots because people wasn't talking. Whoever this Wu-Thing guy is, he been quiet. That's until he went to that courtroom today. That's until he went to that courtroom. Oh, and we're going to talk about what happened in that courtroom. It's not looking good for T Grizzly, what took place in that courtroom. But the police chief told T Grizzly, we know you involved somehow. Now, you could say the police chief is salty. They got something against T Grizzly. They got a vendetta against T Grizzly. Okay, you can probably go with that. But when the police chief is telling T Grizzly that to his face, and he's telling Jobina Brown's family to their face, hey, we know something is up. The police chief told Jobina Brown's sister and Jobina Brown's mother that they believe that T Grizzly is involved somehow. Now, T Grizzly became a suspect almost initially because the police chief discovered, so T Grizzly's uncle was married to Jobina Brown. The uncle went to jail 3 months before her death. Within those 3 months, T Grizzly began an intimate relationship with Jobina Brown. Police chief looked at that and thought, wait, that's messy. That could obviously lead to something. But that's before they began to put the puzzle together. T Grizzly and Jobina never fully admitted that they were intimate, but I was told that family members began to figure it out fairly quickly and it was starting to get around. Could T Grizzly maybe have gone the extreme to cover it up? Maybe. Now, the rumors that Jobina Brown was pregnant at the time of her death is false. But where those rumors came from makes things so much worse for T Grizzly. The rumors that Jobina Brown was pregnant came from court, and it wasn't a prosecution who put that theory out there. It was the defense. It was Wu-Thing's defense attorney. You see, Wu-Thing is the murder suspect in this trial. Whatever his defense attorney say came from Wu-Thing. See, street dudes was finding creative ways to tell nowadays. They telling through their lawyers, right? They won't get their butt up on that particular stand and point their hand and tell it all, but they gonna tell through their lawyer. The defense attorney, who is responsible for getting Wu-Thing off, he came to court and he says, listen, obviously, T Grizzly put the hit out on Jobina Brown. He said that in court. The transcripts will prove it. And he also said that he did it because Jobina Brown was pregnant. Now, the prosecution understands that the prosecutors themselves could probably believe that T Grizzly is guilty, but right now, they're trying to prosecute Wu Thing. So they brought the autopsy person or somebody, an expert, to testify that Jobina Brown was not pregnant. T Grizzly is a smart man, so he already understands that if the defense attorney is in court saying that you were the one who put the hit on your auntie, that came from the murder suspect, that came from the shooters. That means the shooters is already talking. That means the shooters is already giving information to their attorneys, and they're trying to use that to get him off. It's not looking good for you, man. And all that tells me, to be honest, is that the shooters believed the aunt was pregnant. They probably heard, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're taking her out. They probably was under the impression, yo, we gotta, you feel me, take her out because she's pregnant. And if that's the case, then maybe if T Grizzly is involved, then he probably thought she was pregnant the whole time she wasn't. Maybe he was told if he's involved, right? So if I'm T Grizzly and I'm hearing this information, if I'm involved and I know who I told this to, then I know they tell it. I know they talking already. And it's not looking good at all. Now, the shooter is trying to get the cell phone tower evidence dismissed. The shooter is saying, yo, the phone is registered in somebody else's name. However, that number from that phone is a number that's known to him, is a number that he's been using for like his probation officer, his family and friends. That's his number. But because the phone is registered in somebody else's name, he's trying to get it dismissed. It's not going, they're not dismissing it. The evidence stands. The driver who was in the vehicle when Jobina Brown was shot and killed, he testified that the shooting took place 45 seconds from when T Grizzly got out the vehicle. What that shows is T Grizzly was on that porch. That shows that there's a high likelihood that the shooters seen T Grizzly, because from how the car is positioned in a picture of the house, if you're walking up to the back driver's side and you're opening it up, you can see over the car. Like, you can see the porch from that angle, and you'll be able to see a 6'3", 350-pound T Grizzly. You can't miss him. So if he was the target, you'll be able to see him. He was not the target. It doesn't make sense that he is the target. Now, someone who hopped on the phone with T Grizzly, someone who talked to T Grizzly after the incident and was told by T Grizzly what happened, I asked, yo, how did T Grizzly sound? Like, was he like emotional? The words that I was told verbatim, it felt like he was trying to fake emotions. It felt like he was trying to kind of draw up something. Like, he was trying to sound like he was distraught. The person told me, bro, I can't really explain it, they said. It just felt like he was trying to come across as if it was this and it was not. Sada Baby was also signed to Jobina Brown. Sada Baby was one of the people who came to identify her body. I believe it was Sada Baby and Jobina Brown's sister, if not her mother, who went to identify her body. And I was told that Sada Baby was distraught. He was effed up about this. I was told, but like Sada Baby was looking at T Grizzly a little crazy. The Sada Baby actually looked T Grizzly in his eyes and told him, hey, bruh, tell me you don't got nothing to do with this. That even Sada Baby wanted T Grizzly to know, hey, bruh, tell me you got nothing to do with this, man. And that T Grizzly gave his word to Sada Baby that he ain't had nothing to do with this. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Now, the next court day is tomorrow. I'm going to have people in the court day. I'm going to have people in the room. We're going to figure out more details about what's going on. Because the defense attorney for the shooter is throwing T Grizzly under the bus. Now, right now, it don't feel like the shooter or the suspect is telling, because from their perspective, they believe the case is weak. Because once you throw out the cell phone evidence, at this point, it's kind of like, how do we put him at the location? So he hasn't really fully told yet, because they believe the case is weak and they can beat it. But once he's found guilty, once they put him right where he belongs, man, it's over with, bro. It's done for, man. It's over with. Now, I was told the family, Jobina's Brown family, has been very suspicious of T Grizzley for a while. And when I was told why, they said, listen, the family has been suspicious of T Grizzley because he continued to hang with the people that the family believe is responsible for the unc's death. If Wu Thing, aka Wu 600, is from 600, and T Grizzley groomsman in his wedding last year was Buka 600, the family is like, come on, man. We not born yesterday, yo. If the hit was for you, then why are you still hanging out with those people? So it's not just us. The family themselves is upset that T Grizzley is still hanging out with the people that are responsible for the death of their daughter, niece, mother, wife, etc., etc. What I can say, man, is this started off as a simple conspiracy. This started off as y'all telling me, Flacco, oh, you reaching, Flacco. Oh, my God, you police, Flacco. Am I still police if this is true? Am I still police if this is true? This ain't no street stuff. If this is true, if a wife and a mother was killed and she wasn't in the streets, she wasn't no gangbanger, she wasn't none of that. Is this still street stuff if she gets justice? Is it? Y'all got it backwards, homie. Y'all got it backwards, homie. This ain't no street stuff, homie. They weren't at war. If T Grizzley is involved, and I say this,
street business.
This ain't no street stuff. They weren't at war. They weren't into it. They weren't beefing. Yo, to me, T Grizzley already showed from the very jump. He ain't got no morals. He ain't got no principles. You was effing on your uncle's wife or ex-wife, because when you go to jail, like, bro, the uncle got sentenced to 9 years. He was 3 months into the sentence when Jobina Brown passed away. A 9-year sentence, bro, that's your ex-wife at that point. But if T Grizzley was,
the only part about that is ain't no way he can get out no contract with the uncle. If the man's wife had a contract with his nephew and she was murdered, any law that contract gonna roll over to her husband in some type of way, unless the T lawyer go get some trying to get some high powered lawyers to overturn that contract. But that's dirty. But to be honest, I wouldn't. They gonna have to look at the uncle too. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna have to look at the uncle too to see if he might have put his nephew up to this and they was gonna split a big bag. They wanted to get rid of her. Who knows?
Was effing on the uncle's wife 3 months into his sentence. That's a man that ain't got no loyalty to nobody. And all he does is rap about backdooring.
Nah, they had the contract. Okay, so the uncle still.
Y'all let me know in the comment section, people. Man, I can't believe this, man. This murder mystery done turned into some ish right now. We'll be back tomorrow after court.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow after court.
Nobody say. If the 600 crew did that murder, nigga, T Grizzley as a whole, he being extorted. Ain't no conspiracy to it. You still hang with them niggas. They little partner. That's why I say I don't know the streets. It's crazy shit. That was been enough for me and my family to get your ass up out of here.
And if I pass away, if I die,
say, nigga, you hanging with who we think.
Y'all know OTF got a lot of people in LA. Y'all know OTF got a lot of shooters in LA. And T Grizzley got ties to OTF. So if I pass away, just know OTF and T Grizzley did it. Let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think?
We got the homie say, okay, let's move on from Flacco. Let's see, it could be. We got way more. Let's look at this. We gotta dig deep into this. It pretty look like the man ass is fried catfish.
So all the conspiracy theory people, y'all was right. All the conspiracy theory people,
man, is finished.
Y'all were right, man. And I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't want to believe it, but golly, I did not want to freaking believe it. But T Grizzly is cooked. According to some people that's about to release some stuff, so I ain't gonna release it. I'm just here to tell y'all, when this stuff drop, y'all gonna be like, ain't no way in hell. From what I basically heard and seen, yeah, he did that. So let's go to Wu-Tang first. How does Wu-Tang play into all of this? He ain't know. That's why y'all keep hearing these things and everything like that about, oh man, he got these charges, he got those charges, these charges are dropped. Why ain't the feds charging him with this? Why ain't they doing that? But he ain't like that. Not like that, like that. Hell nah. So whatever rumors y'all may have heard, that's a youngin' on the ranks. He ain't the person. The people who did it, they on wiretaps, flappity, flapping, yappity, yapping. And they saying essentially T Grizzly put that woman up to it. I hope to God what I just heard and seen ain't real. I'm hoping. I don't even want to believe it. I'm telling y'all the truth. I don't want to believe what I'm saying, but it is what it is on this part, man. So the story about her being pregnant, no. When she died, there's multiple people who've been calling the Detroit mortuary, essentially, basically.
Let me roll up this deal. See, it's easy for me to look at this shit and call it and just wait for it to play out how it play out, just like I called the Dolph situation and told everybody it was going to be a RICO and a conspiracy. Got him. And all these internet niggas was saying I was wrong. That all played out how it played out. Because I've been through this shit before. I've been through all of this BS in the streets before, nigga. I know it when I see it, nigga. All of this shit is not, none of this nonsense is new to me. These little demon ass nigga, I keep telling you, these people, Blackface Ku Klux Klan, we gotta go against these people, nigga. And people, some of the crazy shit people can't even imagine and believe it. Man, this shit gets played out like this all the fucking time in our neighborhoods, man. Bunch of BS is going on. Bunch of these backdoor people is lost their mind. Everybody and their mama get a little money and think they can put a hit on somebody. I've been telling people that is a real problem in the black community right now. Everybody got a little bad, you got a problem. Niggas trying to drop it on your head, bro. This is serious shit. This is not no game. Then you got these rappers, they all done lost their mind because they all got a little money and every last one of them will put something on your head because every last one of them got access to a neighborhood that killed. The problem is every community where it's poverty at, it's some niggas willing to do anything to make it out, to get a buck. Anything. Anybody can go. So fuck no, we don't think, oh no, this can't be like this. They're lying on this young man. He wouldn't do that. Hey, boy, please. Ain't nothing new.
And try to figure out, bro, what the body look like. So some people were able to get certain things released. They had to give their real names and all that. Y'all know Sadie Nash ain't never doing nothing like that. So reveal she was never pregnant. What it's all about is the pape. It's all about the money. That robbery song is allegedly the song that's him dry snitching on himself. T Grizzly been basically in the house. He know it's coming. He know he about to get arrested. He know that he about to get hit with a murder for hire. And that's basically it. They're saying this dude was so dumb that he sat up there in his own phone, on wiretap, bruh, saying all of these things. He want to bounce out like T Grizzly been trying to figure out a way to get the hell out of here, but he know, his whole team know, everybody know, they just waiting on whatever they waiting on, and then they about to hit him. So he basically looking like, man, I got to get up out of here. So if you randomly see T Grizzly somewhere, like on a boat or doing something wild on a small plane or something like that, that would be my suggestion. My suggestion would be figure out the best way you can get your big ass down there to Mexico, get all the way down to Mexico, and keep on going. Keep on running. Keep on footing. Keep on running, bro. You better be crossing the border the opposite way from what they saying. So it goes like this. T Grizzley had a bad contract, getting screwed out of money. He ain't feeling it. She ain't letting it go. Law binding and all this stuff. That song blows up. It does what it does. It does massive numbers.
This is true. Then I really can't stand that disgusting bastard. If this the contract was the reason, I can't stand nobody putting hits on people and killing your own people and backdoor. That's all blackface, Ku Klux Klan activity, and you deserve whatever's coming to you. So, but if it was over that contract and he killed that woman, I hope they give his bitch ass the death penalty, because all them bitch ass niggas getting bad contracts. They ain't killing these executives. They're not putting hits on these executives. They're not killing these white people that put them on all them bad contracts. Or the J. Princes, the Birdmans, the Rockefellers. They ain't put hits on none of them motherfucking people. But it come to this woman right here. They knew they could backdoor her. That's crazy, Black. That's why, man, you're not going to get away with this type of shit no more. This devilish activity.
Talking about massive numbers on top of massive numbers, which sets up deals. Deals set up for money. T Grizzley is out. He got his own sound, bro. Detroit is back. You feel me? And this is the youngest that's going to be in charge and doing every single thing. People looked at that video with T Grizzley like, bro, you're not really saying anything. And it's hard because what a lot of people, myself included, what we try to do is we try to explain to you how stupid this sounds instead of just flat out saying no, because some people who will try to convince you of things will try to get you to understand logic. It's like, say if, God, I don't want to use this. This is very bad timing. But say if you were swimming and you had a family member swimming with you and that family member drowned. And next thing you know, you were on a life insurance policy for that family member. You get a life insurance policy of $10 million. The internet is going to tell you, you the one who killed that person. You drowned that individual. You need to go to jail. You did this. You did that. And in the midst of you saying, I never drowned this individual, you don't say that. You say basically this, man, I grew up with this person. When we were 7 years old, I took a swimming program and he didn't. So he basically was swimming with me, acting like he can do what I do because he been seeing basically how I've been swimming and he thought he could do it too. This is the first time. I ain't gonna lie. I did say I got you if anything happens. So I tried to grab his hand. He floated out. The current took him. Now, people are going to say, well, why did you tell him that you got him and you didn't get him? Why didn't you give him a life vest or something like that or whatever? Everybody's going to have every contingency to say about it. But at the end of the day, you actually didn't do it. It just was unfortunate. So when people tell stories, at times, there's certain parts in the story that you forget and you bring it up at the end. No story is ever told twice the same exact way. It never happens. You either miss details or you add details or you try to compare things that are now in the physical that you think would be relatable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails. That's just what it is. So certain people try to get you to understand logic, and that's what T Grizzley tried to do. But it ain't working. They're saying the feds are gonna be coming. That T Grizzley essentially hired some cats. And basically, them the guys, y'all know who they is. That basically he hired these cats because it didn't make.
Debating them, bro. I done been in the room and niggas get that money and niggas, I had to squash put bullshit out. Niggas get that paper. Niggas sleep with nigga wife. Niggas talking to killers. Killers gonna always suggest murder to niggas with paper, bro. That's what they're there for. They not good. They can't do your taxes, nigga. The fuck? What the hell do you think the killer's gonna suggest, nigga, that they whack somebody for any problem you got, bro? That was this channel for to tell the preach truth. For any problem you got, and niggas who know I'm telling the motherfucking truth. For any problems a nigga with paper got, them niggas around them who shooters, they're gonna suggest somebody get popped for it. So when T Grizzley complained about that contract around them niggas, what the hell do you think Booker 600 and them niggas who want access to that paper, what could they offer him? They're not going to get him in touch with some good lawyers to get him out the contract. No, nigga. They're going to suggest somebody get hit to get him out the contract.
Makes sense that there was rumblings of one individual in particular doing this, and next thing you know, it's a couple of dudes, and it's like, bruh, how in the hell you still cool with these cats and you hanging out with people at your wedding and making them certain responsibilities at your wedding? This ain't making sense. The streets do talk. The streets will give you a couple of suspects. That's what the streets do. That's why that freaking reward is there still, because Buddy didn't do it. He just was crashed out on. And they basically on his heels like, you better not say nothing. So now he's so that's why he ain't going nowhere. He's not going to be charged for the murder. He didn't do it. He just happened to be a cat who got a strap and was a passenger in a car that was hot, who knew nothing about anything. That was just a gun that they gave him, and unfortunately, they crashed him out. It is what it is. Bullshit. There's certain type of crash outs. Certain people know it. Hey, man, somebody...
Crazy. Bullshit. That nigga ass is going to jail unless he give them everybody that did it that wasn't him. If he gonna sit his ass there and roll those dice, we call that put the wheels on it, they gonna max his ass out over that lady, bro, and this conspiracy to commit murder. So he can play all them games he want, like I don't have enough evidence. Boy, they got the gun, they got the murder vehicle, and they got your phone sitting outside the house. That's enough. People in prison for way less. People in prison wasn't in the car, wasn't there. It just was they set, and they name got thrown into the motherfucking pot, and they sitting in jail. So now, you wrong on that one, Seti. Little homie, if he don't tell everything, he have to. If he don't give him Buka, then his ass definitely going down.
Who just lost their mind and did whatever, or people could crash you out by setting you up. And unfortunately, that's what it's looking like. What happened to him? Now, once again, all of this stuff is about to hit. So when y'all replay this, y'all gonna be like, damn, Seti Nash, what the hell? But according to what I was told and what I said, bro, yeah, T Grizzley on his way out of here. He gonna be hit with murder for hire. He knows it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. They try to tie it to Durk, like, goddamn.
Get death penalty for murder for hire, bro. They can put the death penalty. So that's how they scared him. That's how they scared him, young boy. You get life in prison or death penalty. Life in prison, that's your plea deal, man. That's your plea deal for murder for hire. A lot of people don't know that. They ain't never been on streets like they say.
Find out Durk had nothing to do with nothing. Some of y'all gonna get mad. Man, why you dropping Durk? You say that's your homie. Oh man, that Buster, he said something else. Well, tell him, hey, we can do the channel deletion, but you don't want to do that. So you scared. I got it, because you're a liar. But it's just one of those things, man, where it's like, dog, man. Can't believe it. So the feds are coming. The feds are coming. They finna arrest some people that's from Chicago, and here we go again. It's about to look like some BS. And the times that I can say, you know what, man, this person ain't do this, this person ain't do that, based on what I know and what I saw, you is not about to see the Seti Nash that y'all assume y'all gonna see. A lot of people assume that over on this channel, we sit up here and we say, hey, man, yo, he didn't do it. And I know good and damn well that person is 100% guilty. Nah, not this time. If what I was told and what I was shown is true, ain't no way in good conscience I could say, man, this man is fully innocent. Now, I know what some of y'all going to say, well, then why the hell would you break this Seti Nash and not show the documents and all this stuff and everything like that? Because somebody will. And when they do drop this, y'all gonna be like this. And the fact that the feds is willing to release some certain things tells me the feds don't give a damn. One of the things that the feds like to do is they like to see people scramble and see people run. So there's that. Some of y'all gonna be like, whoa, Seti Nash, bro, you did say that story about the feds when they snatched you. I told y'all, the feds told me flat out, we know you're going to make a story on this. And I said, you goddamn right, and ran. Gingerbread, man. which kind of contradicts all these other weirdo stories about me, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's the story, man. T Grizzly set her up because of the money, because of the contract, because he didn't like how things was going. He wanted to basically take control of things, he got her pregnant and all that crap and everything like that. Yeah, hell nah. There's certain things about the uncle that's going to pop out. I don't really want to put that one in there because I do have to leave certain things out. But bruh, this is bad. If T Grizzly goes down soon and y'all see that man being arrested, come back to this. Y'all can make y'all reactions, whatever y'all want to. I don't care what you losers say. But bruh, yeah, I got to change my tune up. I thought the man was innocent. I'm like, bruh, this don't make sense and all this stuff and everything like that.
It's going to be crazy as if his uncle, if the dispute was between the uncle and the wife and the nephew rode with his uncle over. That's what's really going to be crazy. At the end of the day, nigga, if they can prove the uncle and his wife was having a dispute over that contract, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, the uncle wanted more of a player. He want, you know, that's his nephew. You know, you can hear that's my nephew, not your nephew. You married into the family. That type of shit went on. And T Grizzly just took care of the street business for the uncle. That's gonna be crazy. Uncle, cause that look crazy. Uncle go to jail, 90 days later, his wife get killed. Come on, the private investigator probably want to look at him too.
That like there's certain details in which you never want to forget, but sometimes it does happen. But in this case, bro, they're saying that robbery song told everything. So I don't know what to tell y'all other than, man, it's bad for T Grizzly because at the end of the day, if you have the right lawyers, the right civil litigators, the right business lawyers, every contract damn near can be busted. I don't know if people don't know this. It's rare that a contract is ironclad. And on top of that, whenever you're doing a contract, just let y'all know this. In contract law, if you don't understand something, they have to clear that part up until you understand it. So if it uses a ton of fancy words and phrases in which you've never heard of, all you simply have to do is ask those individuals to break it down all the way to where you can understand. You can call it rudimentary terms, you can call it layman terms, you can call it basic terms. But one of the things that you must freaking do is get some understanding. And all of this stuff is about to cost this man his whole entire life. It's going to cost him his whole entire empire that he's built with his money. They can snatch all of that. And next thing you know, it's going to happen. So the question then becomes, who's going to fill in more details? Because so far, them wiretaps are bad. So far, the text messages that they've been sending are bad. Them online posts that they've been doing, the online inboxes on Instagrams, bruh, it's bad. So if I'm T Grizzly, bro, I'm trying to make sure that my wife gets everything.
I thought that nigga ass gonna fry. Michael Jackson, goddamn Prince, who else we had? B.B. King, James Brown. You know, we just go through the list of our greats. All of them got ripped off. You know what I'm saying? Made a lot of money. None of them whacked the labels. You see? I know a lot about hip hop, like I said earlier. Suge wasn't whacked. Jay Prince neither. You know, Baby wasn't whacked. So it's disgusting when these little punks think they gang and they real tough. And this lady, she the one that made the contract that she got to go. 600, Block, and the Grizzly gang. They got to put this thing together, man. Boy, these niggas got to pay for their sins, boy. That's the truth, man. Wasn't nothing tough about that.
It's going to be a huge transference of power because, bro, you better be sitting there with at least 6 figures in your bank and your wife got the rest because when they come, and they are coming, according to everything seen and told to me,
bad contracts.
You know as well as I do, they got their man. Why it get so far with money and all this stuff, who knows? But, man, I'm just as flabbergasted, as shocked as the most of y'all that's reading this. To y'all who are reacting, I don't care who it is and all this stuff. And y'all can call me whatever you want to call me and everything like that. First off,
they were really after me. They really wanted me dead. Now you want to play like you got some enemies out here want your head. They was really after me. They thought she was me. That's disgusting. Everybody know he a lie. That's a lie. You know you lying. They really was after me. Then they say the woman screamed. She seen the killer. She screamed. Then she called him. Yeah, she called my phone, but she couldn't. I know that nigga's stomach was in the bottom. I know that nigga heart was in his stomach when that lady was calling his phone. His bitch ass mind. Like, damn, she not dead yet. Disgusting ass fucking punk. They really wanted me. They really wanted me. But why they didn't kill you, nigga? Why they didn't kill your fucking driver, nigga? Why they let you make it? Why let you get it? Why they let your bitch ass get out the car? That don't make no sense, nigga. I done been on missions. Why would you be the one? That we really want you, but we get this lady instead? Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
I ain't know nothing about this. I ain't asked for none of this stuff. All I was told was what I was told. All I was shown was what I was shown. And at the end of the freaking day, if you do evil and you participate in evil and you expect to live in a good world, them evil ways, they always come back to haunt you. That's why they tell you there's no honor amongst thieves. That's why they tell you, and I always say, bro, I would never hire anybody to kill a damn soul. I won't ever backdoor nobody. I won't do nobody no type of wrong unless I do it myself, because I know me. I don't know we. I don't know what anybody else should do, because when you looking down at that gavel and you looking at them papers and you looking at them people in that room, ooh, buddy. Yeah, it's all over. So, rest in peace, JB.
Latest news has just come out from Detroit. T Grizzly is in a hell of a situation. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of what looks like misinformation going around about this situation. But people, I've got the goods. I've got unseen stuff. I've got things that you will not see anywhere else right here in this video. So we're going to get right into it today and try and get to the bottom of this, frankly, insane situation regarding T Grizzly. So let's just go all the way back to the beginning, all right? It was back in 2019 when the very, very unfortunate situation happened to Detroit rapper T Grizzly. His auntie, Jabina JB Whitaker Brown, I've got a picture of her here in this document. And sorry about the low resolution, but there's a lot of posts relating to JB that have, interestingly enough, been deleted. So some of what you're going to see in this video might be a little bit low quality, but I'm coming at you with the exclusives. A lot of stuff of this has been deleted, and we're finding old re-uploads of this stuff. But T Grizzly's aunt, Jabina Whitaker Brown, was his manager. He actually said in this throwback post about her, it said, "My manager, my auntie, my big homie, if you die, I can't tell the story because I'm dying with you at Affluent Management Team." Now, this is an interesting scenario because, like, I've never seen anything like this. You definitely see rappers bring their families into their careers, into their management, all of that kind of thing. But it looked like, you know, T Grizzly's proximity to the streets, having come from Detroit, having been involved in, you know, serious gang situations over there, it seemed like the streets ultimately did bleed into his music career, and his auntie did end up losing her life in a shooting. And this was very big news in the music scene. It was very big news in Detroit, and it was all over the place. So let's just take a quick recap of the news reporting on that event, on that murder. And we're just going to kind of go through things chronologically. We're going to get to the crazy rumors right at the end, but I'm just going to give you all of the information chronologically so you can actually follow what's going on and how these events unfolded as they happened. So, yeah, it was all over the news. And when it happened, a lot of people were just, you know, very confused, very upset about this tragic incident.
Well, she managed T Grizzly, one of Detroit's most popular rappers, but earlier this week, Jabina Brown was shot and killed on the city's east side. Tonight, we're hearing from a local radio show host who worked with Brown. 7 Action News reporter Anu Prakash joins us live from the scene to tell us how Brown is being remembered and what police are saying. Anu.
Well, Glenda, Detroit police tell me that homicide investigators are still working on this case, still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting here on 3 Mile Road just off of Mack. Meanwhile, those who knew Brown say she was kind-hearted and a hard worker.
She was a sweetheart. She was a good person. She was the type of person that would look out for you, do whatever, she could to help you.
Bushman, host of the Bushman Show on 97.9 WJLB, first got to know Jabina Brown 3 years ago. He called her JB. She was the manager and aunt of Detroit rapper T Grizzley. She also managed Detroit rapper Sada Baby. Sources say on Tuesday night around 9:30, the 41-year-old was sitting in a Chrysler 300 with 2 other men here on 3 Mile just off of Mack. Police say as one of the men got out of the car, she was shot and killed.
JB, I love you. I miss you, but I will never forget about you. You were a queen and you were awesome.
Bushman says he's been getting calls and comments on social media from people across the country, those who've gotten to know Brown and some who are fans of T Grizzley. Bushman says Brown was a young woman who was committed and kind.
It was like her first time managing, but she grasped the knowledge of how to manage an artist and was running with it, and he's been very successful.
So what we're seeing here really is like somebody that's extremely involved, not only in T Grizzley's music career, but also, the Detroit music scene. T Grizzley has established himself as one of the most kind of serious street rappers to come out of the city in recent years. And as a result, JB's become very entrenched in the music industry. So, she's gotten to know the radio host. She's gotten to know the local kind of music moguls within the community around T Grizzley's career, and I think that's why it makes it so crazy that this ended up happening, because this is clearly a professional woman. I don't know the complete ins and outs, but if she's not presenting as a street figure, she's not presenting as involved in the gang war, she's not presenting as running this career as a front for some kind of criminal activity. She seems like a real businesswoman that's in the industry, and really the last person you'd expect something like this to happen to.
Hearing about her death, he shared this video of Brown in the studio with T Grizzley in May of 2018. She was fixing his hair, taking care of him like Bushman says she always would.
I wanted to share something for people to remember her by. When you're behind the scenes, you don't always get the credit for the things that you do, and I want people to understand who she was and what she meant to T Grizzley, Sada.
And as he continues to pay tribute to her, he just hopes the questions surrounding who took her life won't remain unanswered much longer.
Just want to know why. What made you do that? What caused you? What was going on in your mind and in your life that you felt like you had to pull a gun out and pop?
So obviously a lot of people are trying to get to the bottom of this. They're wondering, what is it that's going on? What is it that you could have possibly done that made people want to, kill her in cold blood? And, it was a big news story. It was news all over the place. A bunch of different news outlets reported on it. They spoke to people at the scene. They did breakdowns of the situation, and there's a bunch. And I think we should just take a look at, some of the other reporting on the situation and just keep getting a build up of exactly how serious this was and how big of a news this was when it happened.
Fired into an SUV, killing the manager and family member of a popular Detroit rapper.
What up? Trey Little here. Just wanted to do another video just to update.
My bad. I thought this was a news report. My bad. I got the wrong link there. We pulling up. So this was another news clip.
The search continues this morning for the gun.
They basically said the search continued. So they had no idea who did this, right? It happened. Initially, they had absolutely no idea who did this, why this happened, what this was all about. And as you're going to see in a minute, the local police were really trying to get to the bottom of this.
The search continues this morning for the gunman who shot and killed the manager and aunt of Detroit rapper T Grizzley. 41-year-old Jabina Brown was shot in the area of 3 Mile Drive and Mack Avenue on the city's east side Tuesday night. Now, this is an update to a story that we brought you Wednesday morning. TMZ is reporting that Brown was in the back seat of a car when the suspect approached and started shooting, and she was rushed to the hospital where she later died. It is not clear if T Grizzley was the intended target of the attack. The rapper and his driver were not injured.
Yeah, so this was huge news. This was all over the place, and people were just desperate to find answers. It ended up getting to the point where there was actually a reward that was offered for any information about who actually ended up doing this heinous crime. So the cops were serious, and a $2,500 reward was offered for info about the murder of T. Grizzly's aunt. Now, I'd say that's a little bit low, to be completely honest with you, but it is what it is. Maybe that's what they had in the budget at the time. But yeah, that's what was going on. So, a $2,500 reward was offered to basically find any leads that would lead to an arrest in this situation. The 41-year-old was hit by gunfire and lost her life. There really wasn't anything new to say, right? And this was a little while after. This was March 19th, 2020. The incident happened in August 2019. So nearly a year went by. They didn't really get anywhere with the investigation. They were offering a reward for information on the murder. And in the meantime, the really sad situation is that you had T. Grizzly essentially, publicly at least, mourning the loss of his aunt. It wasn't just T. Grizzly that would be mourning either. Sada Baby, another Detroit rapper who kind of locked in over there, essentially had to identify the body of T. Grizzly's aunt. And this is a Vlad TV clip where he's speaking on that and just kind of sharing the really sad aftermath of this incident and what ended up happening.
Yeah, do that one. Okay.
Yeah, because that case open, man.
That case is open. Okay, and so they haven't solved it yet. So, okay, I got you. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it ain't no biggie. I don't got no problem with talking about my auntie. You feel me? But once they done with it, you feel me? I'll be the first nigga to talk about whatever motherfuckers will talk about.
Well, I'm sorry, man. That's a tough situation to go through.
She her dad and hurt.
So people are posting this on the Detroit gang subreddit, Crime in the D, saying, what if he knows something? And really the consensus seems to be that maybe there's more than meets the eye with this story. But in the aftermath of the incident, obviously T. Grizzly.
And why would Sada Baby have to go identify the baby and T. Grizzly was just with her? Why T. Grizzly didn't go identify? You just was with her. Was he saying he was too emotionally distraught to go view the body? You and your driver was just with her. Didn't your driver take her to the hospital? So after the lady's dead in the hospital, this nigga gets Sada Baby to go identify the body. That's disgusting.
He was heartbroken. Publicly, he honored her on Instagram, but interestingly, it was a post that was actually deleted. So this post that he posted in honor of her after she passed away, interestingly, has been deleted from his account. Now, a lot of people are saying that's quite unusual. If this is your aunt and she was killed and you have all this, love and admiration for her, why would you delete the caption and the post that you put for her? Now, this is very badly formatted right here, but essentially he basically posted, since I was 12, we've been going everywhere together. How have you gone to heaven without me? I don't even know what to say, JB. I just wanted to show the world your smile. I love you so much. So, T. Grizzly basically is now posting. He's posted that. He's deleted it as time gone on. Now, look, I don't think him deleting the post that's in tribute to his auntie is necessarily proof that he did anything, that he had anything to do with it. Maybe you're going through heartache. Maybe you just don't want that on your page. Maybe you don't want to be reminded of the heartbreaking situation. Who knows? Okay, that doesn't mean anything. But at the same time, it is interesting that tribute would have been deleted, right? And he did another post that was also deleted. That I couldn't find the post itself, but I could find the text. Where he said, essentially, I appreciate all the love. I wasn't ignoring you guys. I've just been speechless. And this was an older post that also has been kind of resurfaced, basically paying tribute to her and saying she quit her job in 2016 to manage him and wishing a happy Mother's Day to his aunt there. So it was only a month after the incident when T. Grizzly releases this tribute song. It's called Satish, which is actually her middle name. And essentially is paying tribute to his fallen aunt after this situation that happened. And what's interesting about this is he has a couple of lyrics in here which I thought are really interesting to look back at now, because obviously, look, we're going to get into it in a minute, but a lot of people have this ridiculous theory, this crazy theory that T. Grizzly had some kind of romantic relationship with his own aunt, right? There's a lot of crazy theories. We're going to get to them in a bit. They're saying he got her pregnant, they were together. Now, he addresses that on the first lyric of this song all the way back in September 2019. He says, loved each other way more than we loved life. We were so close, people thought we had a love life. We loved each other way more than we loved life. All right, so T. Grizzly is referring to his manager. People saying that they thought that they had a love life because they were so close. All right, now look, I haven't seen anything yet that seems to indicate that there was anything like that. And I think him making statements like this 6 years ago is kind of getting ahead of these rumors, right? We were so close, people thought we had a love life. So he basically goes throughout this entire song kind of breaking down the situation and talking on what happened. He's saying, I used to be like, I don't need security. I don't want these guys thinking that I'm in fear. I told my driver be on point, but he wasn't hearing me. The shots went off. I'm steady calling. You ain't answering me. You scaring me. He's basically just going through the situation, breaking it all down and addressing the heartbreak that he's going through at losing his aunt. But at the same time, elsewhere on the song, he does kind of make some indications that maybe some people thought, looking back now, are a little bit suspicious, right? There's rumors going on that maybe he had something to do with it. Maybe he lined this up. And it does seem like there's some interesting lyrics where he's kind of overly confident of what actually ended up happening. He's saying, look how they tried to do me, but got JB. Man, that jealousy so real. Man, that hate so deep. Man, that envy is so real when you make it out these streets. You saw it wasn't me and still shot. What she do to you? We was just winning. Now I'm crying at your funeral. But every tear I shed, another 1,000 on your head. Now show your face and think I'm playing. Now, I'm just reading these lyrics and I'm feeling a little bit like it's almost like he's over whooping. Now, look, I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that he was involved in this situation, but
he gonna regret them lines. Look how they meant to do me, but they got JB and all that. Oh, really? So they really was trying to get you? Okay, that's the prosecution want to hear this. Okay, so they was trying to get you, right? So that was meant for you. You rapping about the killers came for you. Okay, they're prosecuting the killers, homie. They have the killers in jail. The killers is your team that you had at your wedding, your groomsmen. You know, Booker, his little homie and them locked up for that. They had the gun. They had the car. You see this shit here, all this bullshit he rapping about, if what you saying is true, well, what the fuck? What you mean they meant to get you? Are they extorting you? Was that a warning to you? You better pay them? It's not making sense. Why did 600 want to get you? Why did 600 BD set from Chicago? Why did they try to get you? Why is the little homie from 600 locked up? Huh? Why you write these bars and then they partying with you at your wedding? Man, come on, man.
All right. He's overly confident. He's saying you saw it wasn't me and still shot. Like, how do you know? How did you know that they saw it wasn't you and still shot? How do you know they didn't just shoot up the car randomly thinking that you were in there and they didn't really see? You're saying you saw that it wasn't me and you still shot. What did she do to you? Like, you're talking directly to somebody. You're almost knowing a little bit too much, almost being a little bit presumptuous. You know, they tried to do me but got JB. It's interesting. Okay, it's interesting. He even goes on to say, JB, I wish I was sitting outside with you and was in the back of that car with you. Okay, you know that your favorite rapper wouldn't have ever let them guys get you. I would have shot them, left them dying, leaking in the street, wouldn't have ran, would have smoked the runts and watched that man go to sleep. And you think they came for her? Man, you know they came for me. So he's really putting that message across, saying they definitely came for me. You think they came for her? They came for me. They took my heart and my brains. They know I can't think. Basically just pushing that narrative that they came for me and, they didn't go for JB on purpose. There's this one lyric here where he actually says, they found a murder weapon, bro. It's going to be hard to beat. First offer 50 years, so it's hard to plead. So the indictment would actually explain that we're going to get into this.
Rapping ass niggas, bro. Somebody should have told that nigga shut up and don't be rapping about this shit. But somebody tell him, man, you gotta make a song and you gotta show your pain and or they gonna think you get. So yes, they found a murder weapon on the 600 set. Your partner and them, they found a murder car too. And the phone. Strangely, they was sitting outside the location. You was gonna show up 2 hours before you showed up there. Rap about that rapping ass nigga. Are you mad at them niggas? Are you upset with your partners for killing your manager? Are you gonna get any get back for that? When was that get back ever gonna come?
It's a little bit more later, but the alleged shooter in the incident, all right, was caught with a gun that matched the ballistics of the bullet shell casings that were found at the scene, consistent with the shooting. But this actually happened on October the 19th, 2019. So this happened a month after T Grizzley released this song. And it's got to just be a coincidence, but it's quite unusual that this song that came out in September, 1 month after the incident, says they found a murder weapon. It's going to be hard to beat. And then suddenly, like a month after that, they're actually finding the murder weapon. And then, and it takes an entire year for them to do a microscopic analysis, of the cartridges casings that were found at the scene with the gun that was found on the individual that they're saying that had something to do with this. So it's a little bit strange, it's a little bit coincidental, but you know, T Grizzly can't possibly have known that. This song was made and released before that happened. But again, it's just very unusual. It's just very strange. There's a lot of quite strange little things going on with this story that just don't really quite make sense. All right. And he's just in this song, you know, he just goes on to diss people. He's saying, F that, these dudes got my auntie with a headstone. They're telling me what to do, like they're smart as me, but they ain't take your heart from you. They took their heart from me. I got one less person that wanted more from me. I'm ready to kill whoever played with me or shorted me. And he's saying he's got, you know, he's got his kids, his aunt's kids, but I guess they're what would that be, his nephews or second nephews, saying, how are you going to die on me? I pray they don't go to jail. I want them dead. I'm listening to the streets, hearing everything they're saying. I'm just waiting on a name, praying that they saying, I don't care if it's the mayor, million on his head, a whole ticket on his top. I wish I could take you up and beat your ass because I was just telling you about them dreams that I had. Dude, snatched my heart out my chest. Can't nobody replaced it. All right. Wouldn't have ever believed you was messing with your baby. Make sure T good. That's all I ever heard you saying. So he's saying, look, she was looking out for me. I was just like so heartbroken over the murder of her, and I'm ready to slide. I'm ready to put money on people's heads. Now, I'll be honest with you, yeah, if this really happened, so for example, look, you're on a song talking about putting money on people's head. I'll put $1 million on their head to get back at them. Now, I would just say it sounds like T Grizzly, he's talking a little bit hot. He's talking a little too openly about this get back and this revenge to really be doing it, if that makes sense. He's talking a little bit wild. He's talking a little bit reckless. And then come to find out the person who did it is involved in a crew that he's friends with. So there's just a couple weird little things that don't quite make sense in this situation. And
all that wild, crazy, everybody gonna die, million on their top, and then you pouring champagne at your wedding with the niggas. Make it make sense. You gonna kill them niggas. They want war. They came for you, but they missed. They got her. They dead. You want them all dead. But then you toasting these niggas at your wedding. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That's disgusting. And even this white guy sitting there laughing like, come on, man. What is all these tough raps for? And then you chilling with them at your wedding. They in your wedding, bro.
They're just gonna continue to unravel and just get more and more strange as we go on from here. So the song itself and the release of this song basically promising to put money on the heads of the people that did this became news within itself, all right? So him actually making this song tributing his aunt and basically promising to have anybody that was involved killed suddenly goes viral. There's news clips about it, and T Grizzly's message is then being pushed.
Well, a new music video by Detroit rapper T Grizzly reveals he fears for his own life after the murder of his aunt last month. But there's talk of a bounty on the head of her killer, and it seems to promote a vicious cycle. 7 Action News reporter Rudy Harper is live today.
Like, I just want to really just drive home like the nuance of this, right? Like, how strange is it that you've got a guy, his aunt gets killed, he's making a song talking about like, I'm putting money on the heads, I've got $1 million, I've got a whole ticket for whoever did this to get them killed. But it's like that's being reported on the news like it's almost like something good, like reports of a bounty. Like, it's very strange. You didn't see this kind of thing with Lil Durk. Like, you didn't see people making news clips about Lil Durk promising to get revenge for King Von and promising to slide for Von. Maybe because it's not, you know, an auntie, a supposed civilian in the situation. But like, it's even just like making a news report about your plans to slide for your auntie is just extremely unusual.
Tonight, with the call of an activists to end the violence. Rudy, explain.
And Carolyn, there are strong emotions in this song by the Billboard artist. For the first time, he's expressing his feelings, even rapping he fears for his own life.
All right, let's not get me in trouble there.
Detroit artist T Grizzly shares an emotional tribute to his aunt and roadside manager who was murdered in Detroit. Action News at the scene near 3 Mile and Mack Avenue a month ago where shots rang out.
You lost your aunt. Let's not lose another family member. Let's not lose you.
Dr. Kim Logan Nolan, a family counselor, reacting tonight to the rapper's lyrics, which seemingly encourages violence, including a bounty on the head of his aunt's killer.
Rudy, we want to redirect the anger, redirect the pain.
Dr. Logan Nolan says she's had firsthand experience de-escalating gun violence in the hip-hop community.
I had opportunity to counsel a young rapper, and he lost a loved one through gunfire. And I said, what would bring honor to your loved one? Let's redirect the lyrics to something positive and productive.
I got an idea of what we need to do.
While declining to speak specifically about the artist, Zeet, a local activist with New Era Detroit, says they are pushing forward to end the cycle of gun violence, starting with children.
The kids is the future. Everything that we do has to be directed towards the youth.
So, look, we've basically got the Stop the Violence campaigns popping off. T Grizzly's promising to put money on people's heads. But meanwhile, in the streets, things are getting pretty crazy, right? So soon after this incident happened, there was this viral video that was going around that purported to show T Grizzly sliding on the highway in his Rolls Royce, surrounded by a bunch of people in different cars hanging guns out the window. So he was moving militant after this incident happened, moving absolutely crazy and just rolling around breaking laws, basically. I mean, this video kind of angered me a little bit because it's just kind of like, bro, that's not how you can behave. Like, got guys just hanging guns out the window. See, like T Grizzly's rolling around in his Rolls Royce drop top, right? And he's basically got a bunch of goons sliding around in cars, basically trying to keep a perimeter around him, leaning out the window with guns. Now, I don't know why he wasn't charged with this, because I'm pretty sure in America, you can't roll around with an armed militia hanging guns out of the window. It's not really acceptable, not really an organized way of conducting your society. But, you know, he was out here moving this way, you know, having goons lean out the window and threaten people on the highway, just threaten members of the public with guns. And apparently this is how you're allowed to move after your auntie gets killed.
What is you doing? What that's supposed to mean? Because you got a gun. What you say?
You see that? Now, where's the T Grizzly indictment, to be honest? I mean, I could probably send this to the FBI, but that's really no way to behave in a civilized America, in a civilized nation. But that's how T Grizzly was rolling. He took the law into his own hands. You know, he's acting like he's basically completely untouchables, rolling around with just guys just hanging out the window with guns on the highway, intimidating members of the public. So that's what's going on. But what ended up happening is that T Grizzly ended up doing his first interview after the situation. And this was an interesting interview. I've not really fully watched the entire thing yet. I know a lot of people have grabbed clips from it, but a lot of people are saying that the way he kind of told the story and how everything went down just kind of like didn't necessarily completely make sense, and that he was maybe over whooping a little bit. So let's take a little look at that interview and just, you know, just get some vibes as far as like actually what he was talking about and how he personally, outside of the music, recounted this incident. So this, I believe this interview took place in December of 2020, a few months, 4 months after the incident, 3 months after he released that song, promising to put $1 million on the heads of anyone responsible. And yeah, so here's what he had to say about it personally from the horse's mouth.
None of the food is good. No, the blood out your auntie knew the passion that she had for you. Yeah. Was JB your auntie? Was she that's your blood auntie?
So it was she was my auntie, and she was my auntie because my uncle had married her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I've been around her since I was 11, 12, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was like she was my real auntie.
So she saw you from the beginning from your rap career.
Yeah.
So what got her so involved with the business, you know, your rap and getting your career started?
Because when I first came home, I had asked a lot of people in my family for a chance because that's what I was really trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, can y'all help buy me a beat? I really want to rap. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them just wasn't taking me serious. Like, you better go get a job. What you trying to rap for? And all this other stuff.
Right. And she believed in you.
She believed in me. She was the only one.
And look at
that first day out video, she paid for the video, bought the outfit I had on in the video, everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
what we playing
I've been rocking ever since.
What we playing right here?
Call of Duty.
On the
Call
killing
of Duty,
spree.
Modern Warfare. Definitely on the killing spree.
You nice with it?
Watch this. Hold on, watch this.
Just shot his ass. Oh, let me see. Let him see.
My partner just killed me with his weekend.
They think life.
Can capture that shit right quick. I'm capturing their grounds.
They think life.
T Grizzly always on it with the gaming, man.
This shit is not
So
real.
let's JB, man. So again, so she was the one that believed in you. She took her money and put it into your career. And
she quit her job to start managing me.
Yeah. Did you? When she said she wanted to do that, did you try to talk her out of it?
This was gonna get him convicted. She get him death penalty. Nobody believed in his no good stinking ass, little broke ass. He had dreams. You know, them people can rap. It's millions. Nobody helps him. Nobody. He didn't know nobody. All these niggas hanging around now. Everybody suggested she was getting too much. None of they didn't believe in him. She believed in him. Put everything behind this sorry, no good motherfucking ass. Then quit her job where she was straight to manage him. Make sure he didn't get finessed in this goddamn game. And what did she get for that? Murdered.
No, hell no, I ain't trying to talk about it. Because she already had money, so she was already straight for real.
Okay.
And I really needed that. And I saw that she was the only one that really believed. She was the only one I could trust for real.
Paper.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy, bro. That's the craziest part. People make excuses for this clown ass nigga. He could have waited and bought himself out that contract, whatever. But do what you do with the white people, nigga. You don't put no hits on them. All of a sudden, she had to go.
So I was all for it.
Okay. Like I said, whenever she needed something, man, she would definitely reach out to me.
Yeah, and you know me, you and her linked up on a couple occasions.
Yeah.
You called me at the casino getting struck one time.
Yeah, I seen you over there, man. They bite your ass over there today?
They did.
So at this point, he ends up going, like, actually explaining the entire story of everything that happened that night. And this is the part that a lot of people have really poured over and really drilled into to try and get details, maybe try and catch him out. I'm just going to watch it with an open mind.
Yeah, man, can you kind of go over that night with us? I know y'all was at the studio. I seen you on your Instagram.
Yeah, so we was at the studio with Guapo and Jay Swan or whatever. And, I'm going to my cousin's house, my older cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He was real close with my pops, just like my pop's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to, you know what I'm saying, show him some love because that's another one we really ain't healed from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I went over there and I was telling her, like, come in the house. And she's like, no, I want to go in. I'm begging her to come in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, certain areas, you just can't, you got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't about where you at. I could go anywhere I want to.
Right.
But I got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. See, I got to move right. I got to be militant. Y'all seen him in his drop top, rolling down a highway, cars of killers and gorillas surrounding him. Okay, Mr. Move Right. How the fuck your auntie get killed that night? I'm moving so right. Well, how the fuck they open your auntie door up and killed the Mr. Move Right? Huh? You move so right, huh? Come on, man. That let us know you let your guard down on purpose. And whoever that driver is, that nigga need to be convicted too. What the fuck is you there for? Why they kill that lady? The driver didn't fire no shots. And I don't give a fuck what nobody say. He definitely had a gun. Because this nigga T Grizzley finna say he didn't have no gun. His cousin had a gun that was in the house. No way in hell T Grizzley rolling around with jewelry. His auntie, she papered up, and nobody got no gun. That's a lie.
So if I'm moving right, nothing happened to me. So I'm telling her to come out. She's like, no, because JB was kind of like funny acting about dirty houses and stuff like that. The house wasn't even dirty, but to her, she's just a clean, real clean person. It's like, no, I don't want to go in them people's house. I don't want to sit on their furniture and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I'm knocking on the door. My people's taking so long to come to the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they finally come to the door as soon as I see her.
That's a lie. He shouldn't have said that. Remember, the police are already saying in court within 45 seconds of him getting out the car, the shootings happened. The shooting happened. They already got that down pat. Within 45 seconds of you getting out that goddamn car, the shooting took place. But he lying. He trying to give it a lot of time. He trying to put time within. You can't, homie. Not when they doing investigations to this shit. You can no longer place time that's not there. 45 seconds from when your ass got out that vehicle and walked to that door, they killed that lady. So all that my cousin, he taking all day. How long is he taking? Nigga, they ain't been 45 seconds.
As soon as I see my auntie, she went up and watch her, a whole bunch of shots going on. You know what I'm saying? Behind me. I hear a whole bunch of shots going on. So I get down.
Some people are kind of pointing out that like it seems a little bit strange. I mean, I've heard both sides. I've heard some people say that that's a normal thing. Some people of the older generation, they might not want to go in someone's house if it's too dirty, if it's a trap house, if it's a mess, if it's full of roaches. They might be on some stuff where they're just like, yeah, I'm not going in that house. It's too dirty. Other people have said that doesn't really make sense. If you're a manager, his protector, what's the big deal? You can just go into the house for a little bit. I could see it both ways. If she didn't want to go into the house that it was dirty and she waited in the car, and then T Grizzly, somebody slides to end up hitting T Grizzly. That makes sense. But if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, you want to believe that T Grizzly arranged this thing, for whatever reason.
T Grizzly told that lady, "Sit right here. I'm finna go pick something up real quick. I'll be right back." That's what he said. You sit right here. I'll be right back. Finna run in and run. I'm gonna run in and run out. That type of shit. That's what he said.
She was placed in that car, and the unfortunate situation kind of ended up happening with her in this vulnerable position in the car, and T Grizzly just so happened to not be there. But again, we don't know for sure.
I don't think they about to come to the side and start, shooting at me, and I ain't got nothing on me at the time. Mm-hmm. My cousin ran out with a gun. I'm like, perfect. So we ran out on the street.
That is this nigga is making this shit up as he go. He is purposely, and I said it on my video, he purposely saying I didn't have a gun. He's saying that for police to know he's not a felon in possession of a firearm, and for anybody to say why you didn't start when you heard gunshots, why you didn't run out there and get down, because he putting all this together. The reason I didn't run out there and get down on it when I heard the shots, I didn't have no gun. So I had to immediately hit the ground and wait on somebody with a gun to come out the house. You see what I'm saying? He's putting all these lies together as he go.
When we ran out, my driver was gone with no cars out there. I'm like,
she was in. So what was the vehicle? She was in the car. Like
she was in the car. Okay, she was in the car on the street. So my cousin ran out with the gun or whatever, and we ran out in the front to see what's going on and to if somebody up on us, we gonna get them off us. So once we got outside, once we got in front where they was at, my driver gone. There's no cars out here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Let me ask you. So, you had to enter the back door or something?
Yeah, I was
Okay. Side door. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But basically, I don't even know what's going on at this point.
Okay.
So we in the front. I look in the street. I don't see no glass in the street. So I'm like, oh, they straight. You know what I'm saying? That's probably some. I didn't even think this had nothing to do with us.
Okay.
You feel me?
Right.
But my cousin still came out there with a gun though. Mm-hmm. So I was cool with going out there. I'm like, I ain't see no glass in the street. I'm thinking they heard some shots and pulled off.
Okay.
So now I'm mad now. Like y'all heard them shots. Why would y'all leave me over here?
Right.
You feel me? You could at least call me and told me like it's too much going on over here. Come on, we gone. I'm saying to my driver, and called me like and told me what happened. So basically, what happened? They walked up to my door and opened my door. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas opened my door, trying to get at me. End up hitting her up.
Would they hit her on the body?
So again, this is just another aspect that I think sparks a lot of conspiracy theories. They're saying he opened up my door and tried to shoot at me and got her. Now, I think that there's just a whole bunch of stuff where it's just like a lot of people feel like T Grizzly is maybe overly claiming, like overly pointing out that they were after him.
That's what he's saying.
I mean,
they don't want to say it was a hit on her because that's going to open up who would want to kill her. So it's his job to say it was about me. They mistakenly killed her, but he fucking up. Remember, the court, the police, the prosecution already got those killers sitting on that street for 2 hours before you got there. 2 hours. He need to explain that. How the hell did the killers stalk that house for 2 hours? A random house you're going to show up to. How did they do that? So just imagine if you sitting in the car and then somebody pull up. Then they get out the car. The lights come on. Then you see this big ass dude get out of the car and go to the house. Then they run up on the car, open the door. How do they think they're getting you when they're watching everything? They watched you get out the car and go to the house. Come on, bro. They watched you. They could have easily just ran up on you and shot you when you got out the car if they wanted to get you. You were slipping by what you said. Come on, bro. Hit prosecution because he did all this. The prosecution to tie his goddamn ass up.
I mean, he is the ticket. He's the meal ticket. He's the famous rapper. He's the one that's got issues from the city. So yeah, look, most likely they would have been, whoever they were, would have been trying to get to him. But on the other hand, it's kind of like you're overly cooking that it was you. Who knows? Like, why couldn't it have just been a completely random psychopathic encounter? That shit happens in America. Random psychos pull up with the sticks and try and do a mad thing. It's not unthinkable that would happen, but it is what it is. And you know what I'm saying? So T Grizzly is definitely overly confident in the lyrics and in the interviews that they were after him. They wanted him. They even opened his door to get him and got her.
Girl, like on her side and her arm. She didn't get hit in her face, and that's just all on her side. You feel me?
How many times?
On the side where her heart
side?
at. Oh yeah, on the side like where her heart at too. So that shit was fucked up. She got shot like that before a long time ago. My uncle. Okay.
It's like T Grizzly's talking in the song about how did they see that it was her and still get her? They saw that it wasn't me and they still got her. They still shot at her. Why would you do that? And then in here he's saying, yo, they were opening my door. They were coming for me. They were opening my door. He doesn't say they thought she was me, but he said my door. He's kind of inferring that, right? So it's kind of, some people are thinking those two things don't quite add up.
His car got shot up and she got hit in the exact same place, but she lived. You know what I'm saying? Because she went straight to the hospital. Okay. My uncle drove straight to the hospital as soon as it happened. But
was she alive when Did she die on the scene or
no? I don't even. I think that no. She died at the hospital. She was still alive. She was still breathing and everything. She called me.
She called you
while she was shot. She called me.
What'd she say?
I was trying to talk to her. I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh,
she couldn't really form no words. You know what I'm saying? But like niggas was coming for me because they opened my door. They were shooting the car. They hit her 8 times though.
So super confident saying they were coming for me. They were coming for me. He's super confident on that point. And I'm not denying that could easily be true, but this is where people are building conspiracy theories.
You have no idea where this came from?
No, I ain't got no idea where it came from, but it didn't even matter where it came from.
It's like he at the same time he's got no idea where it came from, but it doesn't even matter where it came from, but also he's absolutely dead certain that it was for him.
Who I feel like everybody was a suspect. I feel like everybody was a suspect.
Everybody, including everybody.
So even if a person wasn't a suspect, if I didn't like that person, it was escalated. My dislike for them was escalated times 10.
Lies.
So yeah, everybody was guilty around that time.
Everybody guilty.
So after this happened,
except the niggas who did.
I didn't see you on the ground for a while. What was in your head? Was revenge? Was you trying to figure out who did this?
Of course, revenge was in my head. My people was telling me like that'd be emotional.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting, right? Because I think what I'm getting from this, it does feel a little bit like, you know, maybe a little bit of time's passed, maybe he's distracted by the video game, but it does feel a little bit like his responses are just a little bit unusual. Like they're not quite the sorts of responses. Like he's kind of like, yeah, I'm emotional. Yeah, I was going to slide. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's almost like if somebody really did come and murder your auntie, maybe you would have more venom, but then again, maybe a few months have passed by. He's made a song. He's not really feeling that vengeful about it. You know, it's unusual, but maybe he's just distracted by the video game and he's not really expressing that real emotion in this interview.
You can't just act. You can't just act on it. You know what I'm saying? Let the police handle it. So I just let the police handle it.
Family-wise, what was it?
That really, I'll be real. That last line, that seems extremely out of character for what should be a pretty serious street person, right? I don't think too many street people, most street people that I hear of, any of this Chicago stuff that we talk about, generally it's like, I pray that they don't go to prison. I want to catch them myself. I've really not heard a street dude whatsoever talk about, yeah, let the police handle it. Especially when he's talking about, they came for me. He's on the song talking about, they saw it was you and they still shot. How are you letting the police handle it?
I'm saying let the police handle it, so I just let the police handle it.
Because on the song you're talking about, you got a whole $1 million on the head of whoever did it. And now in this interview, you're very casually just saying, just let the police handle it.
You can't just act on it. I'm saying let the police handle it, so I just let the police handle it.
Family-wise, was anybody blaming you?
Yeah, they blame me because they feel like it should have been me. And it should have been because it was for me. You feel me? So I ain't mad for blaming me. My little brother was in the car with somebody or somebody.
He's extra, you know what I'm saying? He's extra'd out that it should have been him and it was for him. But what's interesting is I feel like the way that he's saying is like, yeah, they were mad at me. People thought it was me.
Anybody blaming you?
Yeah, they blame me because they feel like it should have been me. And it should have been because it was for me. You feel me? So I ain't mad for blaming me. My little brother was in the car with somebody or somebody who I really love, and my little brother get killed behind somebody else shit. I'm gonna feel like you guilty. So I'm gonna feel like you did it.
Right.
It's your fault.
So is it beef? Do you having a lot of beef out here?
I ain't got no beef out here. Niggas just don't like me.
Why you think?
Why would they?
Why you think? I mean, what, you haven't done anything? Is it your success? Is it something from your past?
So don't nobody really know me personally. I don't know none of these niggas personally. So you can't have no personal problem with me. You feel me? So what other reason is it to not like me besides what I got going on?
It's funny. It's just for some reason, this just really reminds me of the YNW Melly situation where, you know, 2 of his friends died. Allegedly he had something to do with that. But I think what happened was like, I just think around that time, especially the period like after, you know, Melly's friends passed away and before he got arrested, there was almost this like, it was sort of like the way it was being communicated was like, yeah, they killed my friends out of jealousy, or like they hate me, they don't like us, you know, they don't like us, they're mad, they're jealous. I haven't really got ops out here. Now, I've not had enough time to look really deeply into T Grizzly street beefs, but from what I understand, you know, like he's basically saying here, like, I ain't even got any street beefs that are that serious. I don't know who would want to kill me. They're just jealous. My music industry ops are jealous. Now, if you speak to anyone from Chicago, it's a different story. It's, bro, we got real problems out here. It's real static. I could get shot up at any time, and I know what's going on out here. So some of these comments that just seem a little bit out of character, a little bit out of place. But again, that doesn't necessarily prove anything.
That's just the way I feel about it. You feel me?
Well, man, look, you
like, see how we kicking right now? Yeah. Most of the people that don't like me, we need to add this. You see what I'm saying? And if we did have this type of relationship where I was kicking with them and they don't like me, it's because they did some whole shit and I don't fuck with them no more. And for me to not fuck with you no more, that means a lot because you're not gonna find another nigga like me. You will never find it again. You 5,000 years ago, but there'll never be another person like me. And I ain't even talking about just what I got, I'm just talking about like my heart.
It's like person you are.
You feel me?
Like I've heard things, demons like you. Of course, when people know you from your past, they don't bring that up. Yeah. And
what you heard about my past?
just the things that you've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, everybody got a past. Yeah. So when you start making people say like, well, I remember this nigga was this, he was doing that, or he ain't doing it for his family and whatnot.
Yeah.
And when I tell them, I say, well, you know what, man, the conversation.
When people get to talking about this family shit, you got to understand what I believe in.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Like a lot of my family members, like I was locked up for 3 years and some change.
Okay.
A lot of my family members, I forgot how their voices sound because they wasn't fucking with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they knew exactly where I was at. And I was 10 minutes away from the city, so they could have came and saw me. A snap cost 20 cents. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker get high, all this other type of shit. Left me for dead. And then when I came home, I was even willing to forgive them when I came home. I'm on some shit like, all right, bet. Just tell me, you know what I'm saying, take off with this rap shit. They ain't even believe in me. They want to fuck with me on that. I'm like, all right, bet. I mean, how many chances you got to give a grown motherfucker?
How your mom doing?
My mom doing
So
great.
look, there's clearly a lot of bitterness. There's clearly a lot of animosity in T Grizzly's family. It's a very complicated situation, but obviously everything just went absolutely crazy when the news hit that this individual, okay, 600 Wu-Tang has been arrested for the murder of JB, also known as T Grizzly's aunt, because he was caught in Chicago with the murder weapon and cell phone data put him at the crime scene for 2 hours on the day of the incident. Now, this has been this big shock thing that's came out. But what's really strange is I managed to get my hand on the full paperwork, and the timeline of this doesn't quite it's not that it doesn't add up, but it's like this is old news. Like this is from actually 2020. He got caught with the gun 2 months after the murder took place, and then suddenly, it's taken a while for this to even hit the news. I'm a little bit confused as to why this has suddenly become breaking news right now, but at the same time, it is what it is. So let's take a little look at the paperwork that I've got for you guys here, and we'll just basically just run through this, and I'll just give you the updates and then a couple more theories before we wrap it up. All right. So on August 20th, 2019 at 9 p.m., Detroit police were dispatched to Buckingham and Mack Avenue for reports of a shooting. They observed a black Chrysler 300 parked on the corner. The driver was pulling a female victim from the rear passenger side of the seat. The female victim, who I believe they're talking about JB there, sustained multiple gunshot wounds, was transported to a hospital and pronounced dead. According to the driver, he'd been inside the car at a nearby location when an unknown black male opened the left side rear passenger door of the car, firing multiple shots into the rear passenger area where the female victim was sitting. The driver then drove the car away, called 911, and pulled over at a gas station nearby. Now, here is where people start getting cooked, all right? People start getting charbroiled. At the nearby scene of the shooting, DPD officers located and recovered 12 spent 40 caliber casings. DPD officers also recovered and reviewed surveillance videos from the area of the shooting that showed a dark-colored sedan stopped in the area at 8:59 seconds before the shooting. They recovered 12 40 caliber casings and submitted them to a forensic lab for investigation, okay? So it was all the way in February 2020 that the cops received notification from the labs of a potential lead, i.e. a potential association between a casing recovered from the crime scene of the JB murder in Detroit and a test fire casing from a handgun recovered 2 months later in Chicago, Illinois, a Glock 23 40 caliber semi-automatic handgun that was seized from Jermaine Whedon, who I believe is indeed this Wu-Tang from 600. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why he's relevant in a minute. But essentially, they caught him 2 months later, and it took, nearly a year? Or it took a few months. We're going into February 2020, several months before they actually worked this out, right? So subsequently, in September 2020, the firearms examiner conducted an analysis of the shell casings that were recovered at the scene of the JB homicide and identified these as having been fired in the same firearm as the test casings from the gun that was seized from Whedon in Chicago. So he was basically caught up, all right? He was basically caught up. And this is where things get really ridiculous, right? So further investigation revealed additional evidence connecting Whedon to the shooting in Detroit, including the following, all right? So Whedon was arrested by Chicago police in October 19th, 2019, when he was in possession of a stolen rental car, a blue Nissan Versa with a New York license plate. The car was a Hertz rental car that should have been returned on August the 24th. That's just a few days after the murder, bear in mind, all right? Hertz filed a stolen vehicle report in September 2019, and the appearance of that car is consistent with the car seen on the surveillance footage seconds before the JB homicide, all right? And they're saying that they looked at the license plate details. They used the Michigan license plate reader cameras, and they observed the car, all right? They observed the car traveling on the day, a day prior to the homicide. They observed the same car traveling, I believe, after 2.5 hours after the homicide. And basically, he's not looking good, right? This is really not looking good. He was on probation at the time of the homicide, so that's already making things look even worse. And at the time of his subsequent arrest, when he was caught with the murder weapon. And on top of that, in March 2020, so after they've linked up the gun that they caught Wu Thang with to the murder of JB, they then issue a search warrant to AT&T for his phone number, including the call detail records and cell site info. And they find that the subscriber for this phone, they get all of the cell site data, and they basically say, based on the cell phone, he traveled to Michigan from Chicago on August the 19th, the day before the homicide. They connected his phone to cell tower near the crime scene at the time of the homicide. So they got him traveling there, they got the car, they got him in the area less than half a mile from the shooting scene on the cell site data. Immediately after the time of the shooting, they've got exactly where he traveled to. It's not a good look, right? It's just overcooked. And he ended up getting arrested 2 months after the murder. On October the 19th, 2019, at 2:06 p.m., officers from Chicago Police Department were patrolling. They responded to another officer's report of a male and a female sitting inside of a stolen vehicle. And essentially, they confirmed the vehicle was stolen. The cops pulled into the alley. They saw Jermaine Whedon and a female standing next to the very car, that stolen car, that Nissan Versa, with that number plate. And the cops approached. He fled the officers on foot. A brief foot chase took place, and they arrested Whedon. He physically resisted the officers, and they found the gun that fell out of his pant leg. It had 12 rounds of ammunition in it. And they searched the car. They found an extended magazine in the passenger side door, 26 rounds of ammunition with the exact, it's all just lining up. All the ballistics for the gun, it's all lining up. They got the serial number of the gun. They recovered ammunition. They sent it all to the forensic labs, and everything's all been put into the ballistics information system and the database. So it's fully cooked, all right? And Whedon's got a crazy criminal history. He's got several felony convictions. He's got aggravated unlawful use of a weapon and vehicle. He's got another conviction for unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon. He got 42 months for that. And basically, it's not looking good. In August, a special agent reviewed the history of that gun and that serial number. And they basically determined that the gun was manufactured outside Michigan, and it had traveled all interstate. It traveled in interstate commerce from its point of manufacture. So now you've got gun trafficking, now you've got murder, now you've got extremely serious crimes all taking place. And Peter, we're not even done. Okay, so this is Wu Thang from 600. All right, so they're saying that this is the individual. He's a Chicago. I don't know if OG is quite the right word, but he's affiliated with the crew 600. As you may or may not know, 600 is a notorious Chicago gang and crew. Loads of famous rappers and gangsters and all sorts have been affiliated with 600. You got Rondo Number 9, that whole situation where the cab driver ended up getting killed. 600 is extremely close to O Block. King Von has been said to he technically was a 600 member because he was putting in so much work. Lil Durk's got associations. There's Booker 600. There's all these guys that are affiliated. So Lil Durk's OTF crew and King Von's O Block crew, and then 600, LA Capone, Tay Capone, all these legendary members. All these guys are all clicked up. They're all connected. And, how on earth has this ended up being a situation where T Grizzly's aunt has ended up getting killed by a 600 member, right? So once this broke on the Crime in the D subreddit, people are saying, what the F? Like, how? What is going on? They can't believe it. They're saying Wu Thing is currently arrested in Detroit as a suspect in T Grizzly's auntie murder. So I don't know whether it's taken 5 years for them to bring charges or these murder charges have just dropped and they've had the ballistics from years ago. Bear in mind that paperwork that I just read, I think that paperwork was filed in 2021. So this has just been sat there. This has only really reached the news recently. And everybody's speculating. Now they're saying, did bro set the play on his auntie? People are wondering, how is this even possible? People saying, I told you guys he set her up and you were acting like I was crazy. The streets knew this. People are saying, I remember you were saying it in Reddit that he set the play on his auntie, and now I'm starting to believe it. And the reason why people say this, okay, people say, now I'm looking at the Satish video different, all right? So look, the reason why a lot of people think that this was something to do with T Grizzly is because actually 600, that crew, they're very close with OTF. Lil Durk's crew. And T Grizzley actually appeared pretty prominently on an OTF compilation mixtape album that I'm just going to pull up for you now. So T Grizzley's actually got a bunch of songs with OTF artists, obviously like Doody Low here was, you know, very close to Lil Durk, very close to King Von. They've got this song called Hood Barchi. And on this song, T Grizzley is saying GG OTF, which is Grizzly Gang OTF. He's saying that our crews are locked in together. All right. So he's basically, you know, he's basically just keeping it real. He's letting the world know that in 2014, despite, you know, this person allegedly from 600 murdering his auntie and him having, according to his song, $1 million bounties on the heads of the people that did it, he's still locked in, and either he's completely unaware that this group of people that he's supposed to be friends with had something to do with killing his auntie, or, as the Reddit seems to believe, he knew what was going on, he backdoored his auntie, and he used these guys that he knew from Chicago to make the play happen. And there's a bunch of other songs. This song, Chess, that was on the Only the Family album. So T Grizzley is doing solo songs that are popping up on the OTF album, right? And it's a good song. Like, I really like this song. I've been bumping this song recently. I don't know why, but this song came up on my shuffle recently, and it's been on my playlist. I'll be rocking with this song. He's talking about, you know, just all these, you know, it's a drill song, right? It's a gangster song. There's a bunch of different lyrics in there. He's not really talking about the murder, but, you know, he's talking his stuff. He's talking his gangster stuff, and he's locked in with OTF. Now, this was 2021, so this was only a couple of years after the incident. But still, there's song after song. There's a bunch of tracks that he's connected to. You got Game Face with Booker 600, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But Booker 600 is a legendary rapper to come out of this Chicago scene, and he's clearly a very close friend of T Grizzley too. So, you know, T Grizzley has seemingly been very close to Booker 600, obviously a legendary member from 600, a legendary guy, you know, plugged in with that whole crew. And, you know, stuff like this, these pictures had a lot of people saying this was a backdoor. You know, you got 600, you got everybody, you know, everybody's chilling with this guy, Wu-Tang. A lot of people are just saying, how is it even possible that T Grizzley is even locked in and friendly with these guys when stuff like that is going on? Okay, and with all of this going on, all right, people predicted this on Reddit years ago, and this set of DMs had been going around, right? And so 5 days ago, someone's reposted this stuff that was posted here years ago. They're saying you might owe these guys an apology. So there was DMs that floated around from this Detroit Hits page on Instagram that had been reporting this years ago, saying JB, T Grizzley's manager and auntie, got killed by 600 OTF Booker, that backdoor and MF. People saying auntie got smoked by 600 Booker, like how? And then there's a bunch of old comments here. People saying don't entertain this page. He's a weirdo. This is a load of cap. This is a load of garbage. Wasn't his real auntie. He was. People saying he was hooking up with her. I don't personally believe that, but anyway. People saying they're telling everything. I don't think it's common knowledge. Ain't no way dudes in Detroit Hits knows who killed him. Has he got these people in his DM, but not who killed T's aunt? But people saying, damn, imagine if all this is connected with the Durk case, like whoever was the informant is telling on even more murders. People are saying the T Grizzley RICO is coming soon. All of that stuff. And they're saying if the feds connect all this stuff and they find out T was paid to make this happen, it's going to be extremely hot. So here's a post that was going around in the Chicago subreddit 2 years ago, right? And they reposted that same thing that was there, but there was actually voice notes in this one, right? So people are saying 2 years ago, why are people in Detroit saying 600 Booker killed T Grizzley auntie? Like, people are just confused at this point. And here's the voice notes. They're coming.
Everybody on the motherfucking east side know that, nigga. Them been facts, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? How the fuck you don't know? Fuck you mean? Fuck you know that everybody who killed everybody and popped everybody, but y'all don't know how 600 got down on auntie though. The fuck, bro? What you, nigga? What kind of crime reporter is you, nigga? Fuck you mean?
So, look, all right, look. I need to go and look into this later. I'm excited to look into this. People are saying dudes will believe anything. This is cap. T Grizzley's still with Booker to this day. How do you not know? So this is what's interesting. A lot of people are saying, no way could 600 or Booker have had something to do with killing T Grizzley's auntie. They're still cool to this day. The only reason that they might have still been cool is if this was something that T Grizzley had arranged and had actually wanted to happen. I'm not saying that that's necessarily true, but this is what people think, all right? And this is crazy. People are saying Booker was at this man's wedding, all right? They really in cahoots. on that stuff. They must really be locked in. I mean, look, they hang with each other every day. That's literally damn near his best friend. The plot thickens. Someone on this sub said years ago that T Grizzly paid Booker $600 to take out the manager because some money and she was pregnant or something. Now it makes sense why Sada was looking like that at the funeral and stopped messing with him. So this was posted 2 days ago. People were saying T Grizzly just so happens to follow Wu-Tang. The feds might be coming. There's way too many coincidences. To a blind man, everything adds up to T lined his auntie up. Why would Wu-Tang, a Chicago native, be posted outside T's older cousin house for 2 hours, according to the indictment? It makes no sense. This isn't looking good at all because he wasn't into it with 600 and he's still locked in with Booker. Hopefully these are just coincidences. Snake emoji. Ain't nothing a coincidence. He just a foul guy. People are going crazy, all right? People are saying the feds are not coming for this. This ain't a Durk situation. Everything ain't a Durk situation. Look, I really haven't seen anything solid. I haven't seen any proof. Anything substantial. And I will say that T Grizzly himself has come out. He's made a statement. This image is going around. This video is going around online. He doesn't really address any of the situations specifically. And a lot of people aren't buying it. But he's basically telling people, don't believe the internet. Don't believe the hype. People will say anything on the internet.
That's not true. So you think you can't be fooled by the fucking internet?
I think there's a longer version of that somewhere.
That's about to go around trying to clear it up because it is what it is. As far as like, you know, I ain't about to be. You can't entertain, bro, especially when it's absolutely nonsense. You see what I'm saying? But you do got a lot of others though that go to the internet and think that everything they see is facts. It's not a place for facts.
So now let's get to the more salacious stuff, all right? So obviously people are saying that there was some kind of relationship between them. Like if this is all the evidence that they've got, that he's got his arm around her, it's a little bit far-fetched. But people are saying, I'm probably just bored, but not going to lie. They definitely sound closer than auntie and nephew. I mean, look, that's just them hanging out together saying, I'm his biggest fan. I mean, look, realistically, if you want to equate the love of a family member to a romantic relationship, just because that's something you're looking for to make it more spicy, that's fair enough. He makes it so hard for me to have a real MCM SMH. I mean, that just could mean that he keeping her busy with the career and the industry stuff, all right? And saying you don't need one. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's romantically involved. That could just mean he's saying, yeah, I don't need you getting a man because I need you managing my career. I need you locked in with what we're doing, all right? People, that last comment, people are saying is sus. They're saying, I've messed with my auntie, but I would never say something like that. Okay, look, that one is a little bit extreme, but there's basically just like all these kinds of things going on. A lot of people are speculating that he had something to do with it, that he had blah, blah. Look, realistically, I've read the full paperwork. It's definitely looking a bit suspect. It's definitely looking a little bit strange. You've got people, you know, T Grizzly is infamous for his GTA role-playing. People are saying, yo, he got a whole 21-episode series of backdoor induced for hours on GTA. It never gets tiring to him. People better keep their eyes open. So they're saying, look, he loves being a backdoor king on Reddit. Who knows if he's really doing that sort of thing? They're saying this is the last thing you see before you get slimed out in Detroit.
Right. He talks about his studies on that. His studies on these kids in these video games. And kids acting out. This is a child who turned to a grown man, but they acting out a lot of that virtual reality, a lot of that playing out their lives. And people think I'm playing this. A lot of young kids done joined the military playing Call of Duty and all that and thought they was going to be able to perform like they did on Call of Duty, lost their life because they didn't understand the difference between the real world and these damn video games.
It's T Grizzly, man. And look, people are taking this to a whole new level. People are saying, look, is T Grizzly actually the slimiest rapper out of Detroit? Okay, is he the slimiest rapper? Is he the snakiest rapper? Are you going to get backdoored coming around T Grizzly? I don't know, all right? A lot of the rumors are getting absolutely wild and out of control. There's even this one rumor, and I don't believe that any of this is true, but this one is absolutely insane. This guy is even saying that T Grizzly got his aunt pregnant and gave her HIV. I just think this is just ridiculous. All right. I think we're just getting silly now. This thing's getting out of hand. We we still don't even know whether or not this whole situation is something to do with T Grizzly. We don't know if it's completely outside. Things could be more complicated. There could be in-house beef with 600. We really don't know at this stage. But this is really looking like one of the most salacious and just wild stories that I've seen in the entire hip-hop scene. So I personally am going to be looking a lot closer into the Detroit scene. Maybe I'll get a main channel video together about this situation. I definitely want to know more. I definitely want to find a resolution. But right now, that's the situation. It's definitely looking crazy, and I don't know. So what do you guys think?
Yes, sir. Top of the morning / night to everybody. You know, this should be unpredictable. I know. Sometimes I might just cut this motherfucker on at any time. But today we're gonna talk about T Grizzly. I guess we on a Detroit marathon right now. So might as well touch on T Grizzly now. Since I done talked about Team Eastside, I done talked about Peasy, Doughboys Cash Out. Might as well talk about T Grizzly. The price of fame, which we already know. We already know. It ain't no need to go down this road. We already know what happens around these people. They say a picture speak 1,000 words, right? Pictures speak 1,000 words. I don't got to say nothing about it. Y'all see it. Now, rapper T Grizzly was quote unquote shot at, and his auntie ended up getting fatally struck in Detroit. Now, his auntie was also his manager, right? So let's dive in on that. Now, T Grizzly equals 139 in the English language in reverse. Well, what you're looking at is the practice of gematria, turning letters into numbers. Everything that you see in mainstream media is coded. They run on a strict code, and that's how they communicate with each other and let each other know what exactly is going on behind closed doors. Right? They do this not only with rap, they do this with the music industry, politicians. They do this with the mass shootings that you see. Sports, it's all coded by the same numerical pattern. So T Grizzly equals 139, which happens to be the 34th prime number. Now, murder equals 34. Murder by numbers. Now, speaking of murder, his birth sign happens to be an Aries, which is also linked to murder, which we know, Aries, the Greek god of war, war, murder. So even, they take these people's astrology signs as well. So even if you think it's bullshit and, whatever you feel about it, the powers that shouldn't be are taking astrology into account. So Aries and murder. And to prove my point that they use it, the fact that T Grizzly was an Aries and his aunt ended up getting killed, shot to death when T Grizzly was 25 years old, when Death, Aries, and Aunt all equal 25. And they even equaled the reflection of 25 with 52. So that goes to show you that they take astrology into account as well with these rituals. Now, since we talking about death, T Grizzly's auntie got shot to death 21 weeks and 3 days after T Grizzly's birthday on March 23rd, when we all know that death equals 213 in satanic. Once we on death again, since we're already on the topic of death, the news, like I said, the news is always coded. So when you look at these news articles, they tell you specific things for specific reasons, and they say it a specific way. Now, Detroit police told the Detroit News that a fatal shooting occurred at 9 p.m. in the 3600 block of 3 Mile Drive. So if we take it exactly how they told us, and that's how you do this every single time, you take it exactly how they tell you, you don't have to change anything. 3600 block of 3 Mile Drive equals 118 in reduction, as does death once again. So the location was synchronized with her death. Also with the number 118, right? Homicide equals 118. Brown's death was ruled a homicide by Wayne County Medical Examiner. So we get 118 with homicide as well. And, you know, she also worked with Sada Baby, by the way. She also worked with Sada Baby. Yeah. Yup. My auntie showed me that. When she seen it, she cut on the news. She said, "Come here, look." And they was unveiling not even the pentagram. Yeah, the Baphomet. They was revealing the Baphomet statue. It's a Baphomet statue in the city of Detroit. Hold on, let me minus his comment so everybody can see it. What can I say about the hometown? Detroit has a pentagram street layout at Campus Martius, one of the largest Masonic temples in the world, and a Baphomet statue. I remember when they unveiled it. I'm like, damn, so this the energy that they releasing over the city. This is why it's so demonic. They didn't put a spell over the city. And that's why it's so much killing. And so much negative energy. It was all in the Baphomet. And it was going on before they even put the Baphomet there. It's been going on. But homicide, right? Homicide equals 118. And homicide also equals 150. Just like his auntie died in a homicide 150 days after his birthday. Remember, it's all, you know, since Baphomet, like satanic, the Satanic Bible, clearly states that all of these rituals will be surrounded around one's own day of birth. So you always take these people's birthdays. Celebrating a birthday started off as a pagan ritual. It didn't start off as something that was supposed to be done. It was looked at as celebrating yourself as God. Who needs God when you can celebrate yourself? That's where it came from. But anyway, Also, T Grizzly's auntie died 4 months, exactly 4 months and 4 weeks after his birthday, once again. Just like how she got killed in a shooting in Detroit. And we get 44 once again. It's the same thing every time. Even once again, the Detroit News, I just took a screenshot of the whole thing, and they put it to you, and they put this address. Peep the fact that they, 3,000 3-mile drive, right? But even if we take 3,000 3-mile drive, we get the 44 again. So even the location that the Detroit News pointed your attention to was by the numbers as well, with the number 44. Just like how she died 4 months and 4 weeks after his birthday. Now, once again, 3,000 3-mile drive, the location that they decided to show you, and shooting, both equal 107. Now, 107 is the 28th prime number. Just like how she was killed on the east side, which kill and east side both equal 28. If this don't look familiar to somebody else we just talked about, then you're going to be shocked after you see this. Now, once again, you take these things exactly how they tell you. They say Detroit rapper T Grizzley is mourning the loss of his aunt, Jobina J.B. Brown, after shots were fired at the car in which they were riding Tuesday. So if we take kill, once again, we take kill, manager, and her name, Jobina J.B. Brown. We get 59. We get 59 in English ordinal, and we get 590 in satanic. Now, numerology rules, the zeros are null. So we get 59 across the board. T Grizzley, whose real name is Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr. Now, Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr. equals 320. And once again, manager, we taking the same phrases. Manager equals 32 in reduction, reducing the double digits to single digits. And once again, we get the same synchronicity with his real name. Now, what's interesting about this, right, with the number 32, he dropped the song dedicated to her on the 32nd day of her death. On the 32nd day of her death. Now, remember, I'm about to bring you the parallels to prove that this was a ritual. Because Peasy did the same exact thing. He dedicated his song Letter to Soda, to baking soda, on the 32nd day of his death. Let's look at the synchronicities between the two deaths. Two Detroit artists. Peasy's best friend, Baking Soda Snoop, died on the east side on August 20th, 2018. Exactly a year later, on the same day, T Grizzley's aunt, Jobina Brown, died on the east side on August 20th, 2019. The same day, a year apart. Now, guess what? Peasy released his song that was dedicated to Baking Soda Snoop, Letter to Soda, on September 20th, 2018. And T Grizzley followed suit and released his song for his loss on September 20th, the same day, the next year. And you telling me that these aren't rituals? What the fuck is the odds of that? Make this make sense. One person. I want one person. I'm going to sit here and wait. I want one person to make this make sense. And it's not a ritual. Come on, man. This shit is ridiculous. They taking out their own people and they died the exact same way.
Appreciate the love, family. Revolutionary salute.
On the same day. They even released songs to finish off the ritual. And look at this. The song that T Grizzley dropped for his auntie, where he got the bear sitting over the other bear. Right? This is auntie, this T Grizzley bear, this auntie bear right here. But check this out. The song is called Saddish. Saddish equals 41. That was the age of his auntie at the time of her death. She was 41 years old.
Oh my goodness.
It even happened on 41 date numerology. The month plus the day, then you break down the year. Once again, another date numerology. When you break down the month plus the date plus 20 plus 19 equals 68. Just like T Grizzley equals 68. And you telling me these not rituals? Now, the day T Grizzley was born to the day his auntie / manager passed away was a span of 304 months. Just like manager and the fact that she got killed on the east side, both equal 304. Now, once again, here's Fox 2 News giving you the other code. Hip-hop manager Jobina Brown was shot and killed on the east side. When shot and killed in the east side have the same synchronicities. This is the code that they always give you. And they gave the same code about Baking Soda Snoop. Once again, shot and killed. If we take shot and kill, right, which equals 361 in Latin / Jewish. 361 is the 19th square root. Now, they say she was in an SUV with her nephew, when nephew and SUV both equal 19. You even get the reflection with 91. Now, here's the real kicker right here. Now, they say the auntie / manager passed away 216 days before T Grizzley's upcoming birthday. Just like Jobina J.B. Brown equals 216 in the English language in reverse. Did the nephew get shot? No, she was the only one that got shot. She was the only one that got shot. Hip-hop manager Jobina Brown was shot and killed. Once again, we're taking shot and kill. We're taking these same phrases over and over. Shot and kill equals 73. Sacrifice equals 73. Yeah, the nephew is T Grizzley, in case anybody didn't know. But with 73, she passed away 7 months and 3 days before T Grizzley's birthday. That's all we're doing is running these people's birthdays. That's all you do here. It's gonna tell it all. It's gonna tell it all. T Grizzly birthday is even on the 83rd day of the year. Just like murder. Murder equals 83. Detroit, Michigan, the location where it happened, 83. And he happens to be an Aries. Aries equals 83. Murder by numbers. Murder by numbers. T Grizzly, a big ninja to not get hit. That's what I'm saying. They shoot up the SUV. She the only one that get hit. That sounds like a target to me. But come on. Once again, everything is surrounded around the birthdays. 3/23, right? March 23rd was T Grizzly's birthday. 3/23. Now, Brown was shot on her left side, sitting in the back of the Chrysler. The driver fled to the area of Buckingham and Mack, where he met up police. No other injuries were reported to the police. So instead of going straight to the hospital, they met up with the police first. I don't know why, but okay, when she's sitting here bleeding out. But Buckingham and Mack, right, equals 323. Just like T Grizzly's birthday, and that happened to be the location. That happened to be the location that they went to. Even murder and Buckingham and Mack have the same synchronicities, 399. And it's crazy because that's the nickname for Mack Avenue on the east side. It's called Murder Mack. That's the nickname of that street. Everybody know that. Murder Mack right there by that McDonald's right there. Everybody know that's Murder Mack right there. And that's the location that they took her to. It was all coded. What the fuck you even talking about with numbers? Something that you not understanding because you too busy talking when I sat here and explained it in the beginning. So what you gonna have to do, if you actually want to understand, if you're asking questions to understand, what you're gonna have to do now at this point, since I already started, you're gonna have to run this back when I'm finished. And then maybe, just maybe, you might understand if you open your ears and open your eyes. But come on. Once again, the Detroit News. They took this screenshot of this address right here. 3,003 Mile Drive. And the date numerology on the day that she got killed was 67 and 40, which happened to be the location, right, that they decide to show you, which equals 67 and 40, when blood sacrifice equals 67. Murder by numbers.
Kofi, follow me.